Yes, most of you already know. Today is March 9th, and that's the day that Carl Kalaman says, more recently, that begins this ninth wave. Of course, I've been talking about the beginning of the ninth wave since February the 11th, because that's what I first learned and what felt right to me, because the 20-day cycles seem more correct than the 18-day cycles. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. I honor all of those who are convinced that the ninth is the day that it begins, and as I've said several times in the past, it doesn't really matter which day it begins, not even which day it ends. We know, we feel, we are experiencing a new energy that is sweeping the planet. We are experiencing it in all religions, on all continents, everywhere. We are experiencing this higher energy. It's an energy of unity consciousness. It's an energy of universal consciousness. It's an energy of co-creation. So what is this co-creation thing that we're talking about? What kind of world are we co-creating together? And does it make a difference what we believe or how we see it? I believe it does in many ways. If we believe that the new world is just going to be the same basic patterns of the old world, then how can we be even thinking of it being new? Old structures are coming down, and that's inevitable. If we're trying to maintain an old structure, it isn't going to work. It isn't going to work. We have to see and allow for the collapse of the old structures, which are nothing more than beliefs that we have held in place, maintaining the old patterns. And the old pattern was a pattern of separation. It was a pattern of as long as I get mine, it doesn't matter what happens to anybody else. We call that unbridled greed. We're all greedy. We all want what we want. I mean, let's face it. We all want good things. But when we're willing to take good things at someone else's expense, there's something out of balance there, out of harmony. And that kind of attitude will not cut it in this co-creation of our new world. I mean, we have to say, okay, this is what I want. How does it affect my neighbor? How does it affect the other people in my life and in my world? How does it affect them? What will me having this or having it in a certain way do to others? Will it take away from someone else? For me, I desire to create a win-win situation. I don't want to make anybody wrong. That's never been my intent. Well, I mean, never since I've started this series. I mean, I used to think in terms of you've got to prove to the people that think different than you that they're wrong. I gave that up quite a while back. It doesn't really matter, except when it does. And it does matter that you see yourself as a creator. Some people have a problem with that. They think, well, whatever's going to be is going to be, and we have nothing to do with it. We have no role to play in it. I beg to differ. Our consciousness always has a role to play, not necessarily always in what happens specifically, but it has a big role to play in how we respond and how we deal with what is happening in our life. And how we deal with it actually does change how it proceeds from there. We are always co-creating. We've always been co-creating. The point now is that other word, conscious co-creation. Are we doing it with intent, consciously? Are we allowing ourselves to heal consciously? Heal means become whole again for the very first time. We started out whole before this whole separation thing began, this process of creation, where the divine divided and subdivided itself into multiple points of view. And from the Creator's perspective, multiple points to view. But from each individual point, it was a point of view. And it's important that you understand that what you and I have are points of view. We will always perceive through our own experience, through our own personality, through our own belief system. We will always interpret things from our point of view. That's perfectly natural, perfectly normal, and it's okay. It's okay. It's expected. Within our point of view, are we willing to allow love? Are we willing to embrace the whole? Are we willing to stop the illusion of separation dominating us and allowing us to act in ways that are not good for everyone? Win-lose situations. Are we willing to stop that? Well, I win, but you lose. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. If we're going to survive as a human species, if we're going to survive as a planet with an intact world, without tremendous cataclysm and upheavals, we're going to do it because we learned to come together and tame the energies. The energies are going to do what the energies are going to do, but we do have control. We do have control over the storm and the intensity of the storm. We do have control over that by embracing it and loving it. You all know, I think, most of you know, that animals sense fear. When we're motivated from fear and we're in a sense of anxiety and we're terrified even, and boy, what are they trying to do to us in the world, if not incite us to be afraid? I mean, everywhere we look, there are messages of something to be afraid of. Now, an animal will sense that fear, and what does it mean? It means attack. Nature will attack fear. And I don't know why it works that way, but it seems to work that way. And I've heard of people that are in a dangerous situation with, for example, a wild animal. Or with, for example, a human being that's temporarily insane because they're afraid. And when the person standing in that energy chooses to love and chooses to see itself as safe and chooses to breathe out oneness and see the other as part of themselves, just another cry for love, it transforms the situation. You and I know I have, and probably you have too, heard stories of that. Stories where that happened, where that actually happened in someone's physical existence. We have something to say. We have something to do with how the world and how our experiential reality responds to us. So this conscious co-creation thing is becoming aware of the now, the right now, this moment, March 9th, 2011, when Carl Kalaman says, is the fractal time beginning of the ninth wave of the evolution of consciousness. This now moment. What are we going to do with it? It was interesting. Yesterday I had the dream, and the number 234 came in my dream. And I never even thought, but I had several people email me or connect with me yesterday saying 234, well, that's the number of days left in this cycle. Duh! And I didn't even think of that before I did the video, which is sort of funny in itself. Since I've been talking about the ninth wave, I never connected the 234 with the amount of days left. But that was the amount of days left, 234 days from today through October 28th. It's all fitting together, you see. I didn't realize that, but a lot of other people did. A lot of other people did. They picked up on it right away. Right away. So I want to encourage you to Take inventory of your energy, of your own energy today. Spend time just going within. If there's fear there, don't try to cover it up or deny it. Admit it. That will dissipate it. Covering it up doesn't change anything. It just removes it back into the unconscious temporarily. But this is the time of conscious co-creation. So consciously embrace your fear, your negative energy. Embrace it. Say thank you. And then you're into a totally different energetic pattern, that of love, that of acceptance, that of compassion. And I'm telling you, that is powerful. That is how we are co-creating a new world, a world of peace, a world of greater equity, where 400 people or 4,000 people don't control most of the world's wealth, which is an insane system, where there is a more equal distribution of the resources. And the greatest resource that we have right now is the resource of love. And nobody can take that away from us, no matter what anybody does to anybody else. That can never be taken away. We can always choose to love in every situation. Are you choosing love today? If you are part of this movement to co-create a world of peace. That's what this ninth wave is about. We're co-creating together a brand new world, one where our children and our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren will be able to grow up with a whole different perspective of who they are. They're going to be loved from the very beginning. They're going to be taught the importance of treating others as they want to be treated. Not just in words. It's not just going to be some religious little thing. It's going to be what they see everywhere, because human nature will have changed. That's what we're really co-creating. We're co-creating a new experience of seeing ourselves differently, which transforms our very nature. It's a beautiful thing. As I think about these things, and as I receive emails from all over the world, and as I hear what people are saying, and I mean, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to be healed of all of our disease of egocentric attitude and behavior. That's a disease. It's a disease that has run the world. It's a disease that we're appreciating and allowing to pass as we co-create in this ninth wave of the evolution of consciousness. Every 18 days now, if you're going by this calendar, there's going to be another change. I still like the 20 better, but it doesn't matter. You see, I know we're in the energy. We're in that energy. I'm in it, you're in it. We're in it together, and it's a wonderful thing. Keep the faith. Keep the love in your heart. Let it grow. It's going to change your life. It's changing mine radically this year. And we haven't seen anything yet. It's only going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. Watch with a joyful heart and a loving attitude. Namaste. God bless.